Senators Chuck Schumer and Mitch McConnell say they have reached a bipartisan bill to save the country from defaulting. Senator Sanders continues to fight an uphill battle for the next stimulus package, with pharmaceutical companies and Democrats being his biggest hurdles. I'll go over who is the least liked person in politics right now. All this and more in today's video. Hello and welcome to today's October 7th daily news report, as well as ongoing stimulus package information video. If you're a subscribed member of my community, then welcome back. And if you're not, consider subscribing right now. I want to keep you up to date on what's going on in Washington, D.C., the next stimulus package, the U.S. economy, money, investing, and much, much more. All right, now this is your daily reminder to go enter your name and email to be one of the winners of the $10,000 that Casey and I are giving away thanks to generous sponsors. The giveaway is for all of our YouTube subscribers, so make sure to sign up. You can do so each day and it only takes about 20 seconds. I'll make sure to leave a link in the video description today. I'd also like to thank today's video sponsor, Policy Genius, and later I'll be telling you how you could save money today on your auto insurance and homeowners insurance. All right, now yesterday I told you how Senator Thune announced he and Mitch McConnell had a way of saving the country from the debt ceiling crisis. It was a Hail Mary that they hoped to be able to present to Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer. Well, it worked, or at least it got the parties talking. As of this morning, Senator Schumer says we have a deal to extend the debt ceiling into December, and the United States will not default on their debts or their obligations. Now, according to Schumer's aides, the debt ceiling will be temporarily raised by $480 billion, which gets us through into the month of December. But Schumer said he has not confirmed the final number. So that number is coming from his aides in Washington, D.C., and not from his mouth directly. Now, from Mitch McConnell's mouth directly, he said, the Senate is moving towards the plan I laid out last night to spare the American people from an unprecedented crisis. The pathway our Democrat colleagues have accepted will spare the American people any near-term crisis. Now, before we cheer, the Senate still needs to draft the bill quickly and organize an unplanned vote that must get 60 votes in order to pass. However, with the head of the Democrats in favor and the head of the Republicans in favor, it is believed that this bill will pass without any issues. Now, I didn't personally want to see anybody that depends on the government miss their checks or struggle because of the two parties fighting. I also definitely did not want to see a stock market meltdown like the Great Depression. So for me personally, this was a huge relief. Let me know in the comments. Is this a relief to you? Let me know. All right, now, here's what I think will happen. I believe McConnell has officially put Democrats on notice to pass the real bill in December on their own using the budget reconciliation process. McConnell said Democrats want to go at leading the country alone. They should go at funding the government alone too. Now, I have a lot more to tell you about the next stimulus package and the physical infrastructure bill. But first, let me tell you about today's video sponsor. I want to thank today's video sponsor, Policy Genius, for helping members of my YouTube community save money. Policy Genius is America's leading online insurance marketplace. They can help you save money today on auto insurance and homeowners insurance by getting you the best price. I know from reading in the comments that many of you would benefit from saving some money right now while still getting the insurance coverage you need. Policy Genius makes it easy to compare rates from America's top insurers, from Progressive to Allstate, to find you the lowest quote. Once you've entered your basic information, Policy Genius and their team go to work to find you the very best coverage for the very best price. Now, here's what I like about Policy Genius. They've saved customers an average of $1,250 per year over what they were paying for home and auto insurance. As we move into fall, now would be a great time to save some money, and Policy Genius can help. So head to policygenius.com/Stephen to get started right now. And to make it easy on you, I'm going to leave a link below. Okay, now let's get back to today's news update. According to House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, they are both still confident the next stimulus package will be passed. Pelosi, as well as most progressive Democrats, do not want to see the $3.5 trillion price tag lowered or changed. However, President Biden and Chuck Schumer are now floating a price tag closer to 1.9 to 2.2 trillion. So they are willing to come down, but Pelosi and progressives are very hesitant. Now, in order to do this, sections of the bill and pet projects must be removed, and programs that they say they really wanted will have to be changed. Now, I'm guessing they won't take out money to foreign countries, because why would they do that, right? But here is an example. A few Democrats want to get rid of the child tax credit monthly checks, while others say, let's make the checks smaller or not go into 2025 like we originally planned. You guys, they just barely put this into place, and now they're taking it off the table. Now, they're saying that by making these tweaks or changes, that it would save the Biden agenda about $100 billion. Now, others are proposing that only working families get help from the child tax credit checks. So this would eliminate retired people raising grandchildren, those on disability, and those that receive SSI benefits. They also say that they want it to have a $50,000 per year cap. Now, don't click off the video. These are proposals, okay? These are proposals I'm going through. For example, on the $50,000 income ceiling, Senator Manchin said Americans making over $50,000 a year aren't part of the struggling working class. So he and other Democrat leaders believe $50,000 a year is the right cutoff. Anyone that makes above that, they're not poor in their minds, right? Now, the child tax credit has been around for many years. It's nothing new. So personally, I think whether you get a monthly check or a lump sum should be left up to the parents, right? Parents' choice on that. I know some parents that like getting a lump sum of money in April, and others that would prefer to get a monthly check to help with the rising cost of raising children. Now, the change is not final, but this is the first program that Democrats have placed on the chopping block. Now, you know who doesn't support anything being on the chopping block or shrinking the bill measures? Senator Bernie Sanders. Sanders wants to see the full stimulus bill or the American Families Bill pass exactly as he's outlined it. No taking money from the elderly, no taking money from those on disability, no taking money from parents with kids, no going back on the promise of working for working families. Sanders says Democrats need to stay the course on taxing the billionaires and big businesses. If the bill is lowered, then the pressure to make the wealthy pay their fair share will be lowered too. Remember about a week ago, I told you that Senator Sanders said the most important thing in order to get this done will be courage. He's now saying you guys are losing your spine and your courage. Now, I'd like to know from my community, and maybe this sounds a little bit like conspiracy theory, but do you think that the wealthy and these big businesses are putting a lot of pressure on other Democrats behind Bernie Sanders' back so that this doesn't happen? Is there any chance that the wealthy and these big businesses are actually fighting against Bernie Sanders while at the same time publicly saying that they support him and the stimulus package? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I hope that doesn't come across as conspiracy theory or anything like that, but I just have a sneaking suspicion that publicly they're saying they support it, but privately they're actually fighting behind Bernie Sanders' back. All right, now another area Sanders is really struggling to gain traction in is lowering the price of prescription drugs. I told you yesterday how one of Moderna's owners became a billionaire overnight. These companies are not going to easily release their grip on the American wallets. Sanders had this to say: "The pharmaceutical industry is spending millions and millions of dollars on misleading ads, swarming Capitol Hill with their lobbyists to convince lawmakers that it's okay for you to continue to pay the highest prices on earth for your prescriptions. No more," he says, right? However, Merck Pharmaceutical just announced a miracle pill for helping with the COVID situation and hospitalization rate. Only there's one catch. They've marked up the price of this pill by 40 times what it cost them to make. This is the kind of stuff that Sanders seems to be fighting alone. So just to give you an idea, if it costs them $1, they're charging $40, a 40 times markup on this stuff. Now, I think many of you were shocked when I told you that Bernie Sanders is not a Democrat. He's actually an independent that won against all odds. He just happens to vote with Democrats on most issues. However, do you get the feeling that they put him in charge of the stimulus package and the anti-poverty task force, only to now appear like they are turning their backs on him and their support for him? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I don't agree with everything that Sanders does or says, but it does seem like he might be being set up to be the fall guy if things don't go the way that he's hoped, right? Well, it must be a Thursday because approval rating data is in for the week, and it looks like President Biden's approval rating has sunk again, this time into the 30s. According to survey polling from Quinnipiac University, I probably said that wrong, President Biden's approval rating is 38%. Now, I couldn't believe this because just this week, Biden told us he's the most loved and popular president in our country's history. If you don't believe me, you can go look for the sound bites and videos of him saying that. It was at his little rally that he held in the state of Michigan earlier this week. It wasn't me saying that. It was the president saying that. Now, I thought for a second, maybe this 38% is a Fox News only poll. And indeed, Fox News did report the 38%. However, MSNBC also announced while scratching their heads that Biden's approval rating is 38%. And CNN, while scratching their butts, also showed that his approval rating is 38%. In fact, among independents, President Biden's approval rating is at 32% approval and 60% disapproval. So what's going on, right? Now, sadly, according to a Forbes article and a USA Today article, more people have died of COVID in 2021 than in all of 2020. That's crazy. I would never have guessed that, right? With everything going on, with the vaccine and everything that we've learned, more people have died this year than last year. Now, I did my own survey on my channel, and 66% of you said 2021 has been harder and weirder than 2020, which I thought was like the weirdest year of my life, right? But according to the majority of you, you say 2021 has actually been harder and weirder. You know, sometimes I feel like we're like just living in a strange movie right now. All right, now, a problem that might exist nationwide has just reared its ugly head in the state of New York. According to sources, over 180,000 students have not been back to school in the state of New York. And school unions have been purposely hiding this data in order to avoid scrutiny and losing money. So over 180,000 kids in New York haven't gone back to school. And yet the school systems have been quietly collecting money per student as if they had been. Now, this is a developing story, so I don't have all the news or information about it. But that is a huge number of kids not going to school, and that's in just one state. Imagine what it could be nationwide. 10, 15, 20 years from now, are we going to see the ripple effect of millions of kids not getting a proper education? Something kind of interesting going on there, right? All right, now speaking of school systems, U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland has given the FBI permission to start investigating parents that disrupt school board meetings and is seeking to label them as domestic terrorists. So now the FBI will be looking into parents that are concerned about the education their children are getting. These are strange times we're living in. All right, another shocker. It has now been reported that the Taliban is taking the $85 billion worth of U.S. military equipment paid for by taxpayers, and they are selling it to other nations in order to bolster their cash supply. I'm sure nothing will go wrong with them having a bunch of cash, but that's what's in the news today, is that they're selling that military equipment to raise boatloads of cash. All right, now one last shocker. I don't know if you or I can take any more shocks today. Pelosi, Schumer, and McConnell in a recent survey were showed to be the least liked people in Congress, with Pelosi being the least liked politician. So here's my question. Are these three the least liked in DC? Excuse me. So here's one question, right? The three least liked people in charge of what happens the most in our country. Why is this? Why are the three least liked politicians the ones in charge? Or is it because they're the ones in charge that they are the least liked? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I was shocked to read that Nancy Pelosi is the least liked person in politics. That one caught me off guard, I'll be honest. All right, now, this is my update for today. As I know more, I will definitely come on and share more. A lot of crazy stuff going on in Washington, D.C. Some of it I just can't even make up. All right, now, before you go, Casey and I are trying to do our part to help people in the community. We're giving away $10,000 in cash. One of you is going to win $5,000, and 10 of you are going to win $500. I'm excited to give that money away, and I'm just grateful for the video sponsors. All right, now make sure to follow that link below for Policy Genius. Go save yourself some money right now. There's no reason to be overpaying when you could be underpaying, right? All right, before you go, I just want to remind you of one thing that's totally free, and maybe you can pass it on to others. But I just want to remind you that you are amazing. I appreciate you being in my community, and I'll see you on the next video.